Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for another movie look back review. Now, back in the 90s, we were just bombarded with a ton of action movies. So many that it was hard to keep up at times. And in today's movie look back review, well, we're gonna take a look back at one of these movies. Now, is this movie worth a first class flight, or will you just be wishing you had missed this plane? Well, let's get on with my movie look back review of Passenger 57, released back in 1992. The movie stars Wesley Snipes as John Cutter, Bruce Payne as Charles Rane, Tom Sizemore as Sly Delvecchio, Alex Datcher as Marti Slayton, and was directed by Kevin Hooks. Now, airlines all over the world have been falling victim to a wide range of attacks. Security specialist John Cutter has just been promoted to the head of security for these major airlines. And we're going to find out really quickly why John Cutter was chosen when world-renowned terrorist Charles Rane is on board the very same flight that he's on. One of the things we'll learn about Charles Rane is that he was very good at changing his appearance by having plastic surgery procedures done, but the gig was finally up when he was finally caught by the FBI. Now, Charles Rane isn't the only one who is good at being a camouflage chameleon, as he has a bunch of his hired goons on this very same flight posing as airline workers. Now, during the takeover of this plane, John Cutter is going to see how serious Charles Rane is in completing his mission, and being severely outnumbered, the only thing that John Cutter can come up with in order to slow this madman down will be to cut off his fuel supplies. Now, with fuel supplies running low, Charles Rane really has no other option than to land this plane at a small airfield in hopes of being able to refuel. Now, John Cutter is able to get off the plane because he believes his best plan of attack would be to coordinate from the ground. But when these local police officers find him, well, they do nothing but slow him down. Now, once on the ground, Charles Rane will make demands, and if they're not met, well, it's going to be the passengers who will have to pay the price. And it's during these negotiations with these bird brain officers that Charles Rane and some of his goons are able to blend in with the passengers and make their escape. Now, after John Cutter is able to distance himself from those police officers that were holding him captive, he's going to put his best foot forward to track down Charles Rane at a local fair. But Charles Rane is going to prove just how many tricks he has up his sleeve as he finds himself once again back on that plane. Now, from here on out, Charles Rane thinks it's going to be smooth sailing. They're up in the air and he has nothing to worry about. But what he doesn't know is that John Cutter was able to find a way to get back on this plane, and it's going to come down to a showdown here at the end between John Cutter and Charles Rane. And let's just say one of these guys really could have used an extra parachute. Now, do I recommend the movie Passenger 57? Yes, I do. This movie is just such a classic 90s action movie, and it only clocks in around 80 minutes, which honestly is the perfect length for this movie. It's a full-on adrenaline rush, and I feel like if the movie had been any longer, that it had approached maybe the 2-hour mark, it might have dragged a little bit. But being at 80 minutes, this movie is just a non-stop thrill fest. Now, as of this recording, unfortunately, Passenger 57, I couldn't find it streaming anywhere. I could only find it available to rent on various streaming platforms for $3.99. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving the movie Passenger 57 an 8 out of 10. The purpose of this movie is definitely not to try and reinvent the wheel of the action movie genre, but just to give us a fun and simple story with plenty of awesome action, and Passenger 57 definitely succeeds in that feat. The main actor here in this movie, Wesley Snipes, well, he's awesome, just like he was in most of the movies that he came out with in the 90s. And other than maybe Demolition Man and Blade, this might be my favorite role that he's in. Plus, the other supporting cast here in this movie are really good, including the guy who plays Madman Charles Rane. The psychological and physical battles between him and John Cutter are just really awesome. Now, there are some weird and cliche and yet corny moments here in this movie with some of the jokes because it was a movie released back in 1992. So if you can get past some of those corny jokes, I think Passenger 57 is just one awesome and wild ride. Now, have you guys ever seen Passenger 57? And if you have, what are your thoughts? Comment down below. And guys, if you like movie look back reviews like this, make sure you stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.